Okay, so this demo is going to be about adding in those details. So in order to do that, I'm going to make sure that my images are up, those different images of the animal. Obviously, I'm doing a bunny. So I'm going to go ahead to Blackboard and pull up my images of the bunny. All right, so there's kind of like three main details that you can add to these animals, or that you need to, I shouldn't say can, that you need to add to the animals. One of those is texture. So all of the animals have their own unique texture, right? The chameleon's texture is different than the bunny's texture, is different than the hippo's texture. But they all also have kind of areas where their body connects to their body, and either there's fat rolls or there's like a smooth transition depending on like what your animal is. And that is going to be crucial to kind of representing the animal accurately. And then third is going to be like your smaller facial features, like your eyes and your whiskers, like paws and things like that. So we're going to talk about how and in what order to add those three things. And we're going to start with the extra skin or like transition periods between the areas of the animal, right? So if I'm doing the bunny, I've pulled my bunny up, I've got it on my screen, and I am looking at, well, I'm moving WebEx is what I'm doing, but there we go. I'm looking at kind of this transition area between the head and the actual area, like the actual body of the bunny. When I look at the images, there's like a little bit of like extra skin, extra fat roll, like around this area. It's not such a like transition, right, from head to body. And this is especially predominant on the hippo, if you're doing the hippo, where there's just areas where extra fur needs to be added or extra skin needs to be added. And those are things we should be paying attention to. So before I started talking, I had ripped or cut off a piece of clay from my larger block that I just have in plastic, and I'm just going to be pulling from that. So as I'm adding today, I'm not worrying about thickness, I'm not worrying about how much clay, nothing like that. I'm just worried about my accuracy to the actual animal. So I'm going to take a bit of clay, and again, referring to that image, or images I should say, I'm going to start adding where I see kind of extra bits of skin, of fur that weren't part of those main shapes, all the while scoring and attaching as I do it. So I'm looking at that straight on picture of the bunny. It's got some chunkiness here that I didn't account for when I did my main shape. And I'm going to work on smoothing those things out. Smoothing them in, making my bunny look nice and ready for hibernation. Right, and the same thing would apply to the other animals. The hippo, I know specifically, has some fat rolls around its neck. It's probably got some fat rolls other places too, if we're being honest. The chameleon's a little bit different. Your areas are going to be more, if anybody's doing the chameleon, the areas that you're focusing on are going to be more about like transition and how the animal is transitioning from the head to the neck. So I think if you look at that image, it's kind of a smooth transition, right, from head to neck, and how to smooth that out so it looks like one piece. All right. So first thing you should be looking for is like transitional areas where you need a little bit more fat, where you need a little bit more fur, that kind of thing. And then also in that same category is going to be some facial features, right? So again, if I'm looking at the bunny, it's got kind of like those cheeky jowls. on the face. So here we go, I've added kind of some more fat around that neck, kind of connecting the head and the neck so my fur will look nice and furry. Now I'm looking more at the front here, and I'm paying attention to the eyes. I kind of had poked spots here, right? But now I'm paying attention to those lips. There's kind of more of almost like a lip to the bunny. So what I'm going to do is take a little piece. It's hard to do this kind of backwards, sorry. To create that mouth area of the bunny. And this demo is more, less so about what you should be exactly doing. You're not necessarily going to do the exact